crafters, Karen here from Karen's Crafting Company, and welcome to another video in my Color Cubes series. This week I thought that I would focus on coloring, and so this video is for those colorists or colorers, whichever you want to call them, and they are crafters too. So, it's just another craft that people enjoy doing. So, there's card making, scrapbooking, knitting, sewing, crocheting, needlepoint. I mean, those are all different kinds of crafts. And, sometimes paper crafters like myself who are, into card making will do some coloring, and they'll color like stamped images and, things like that. And that is great. So just for awareness, this video is not at all about a coloring tutorial. I'm not here to show you how to use, colors or how to blend them together or using solvents of any kind. Nothing like that. It's just simple coloring. So I have in front of you this coloring book. It's called Botanicals, and it's a make-your-own gallery wall art. And the artwork is by Lizzie D, and you get 27 pages to color. Now, this is my daughter's coloring book, and she thoroughly enjoys coloring. And, here are some of the pages inside the book, and you can see that she has, started some coloring and, hasn't quite finished. And, she'll go back and finish these. Now, she's had this book for many years, and it was a gift to her from her grandmother. And I know the coloring book came from Amazon, and I'm not sure if it is still available today. If it is, I will have it linked in my description box below. And so now I'll show you some coloring pages that my daughter did from this exact book. Now, my daughter loves to use Sharpies when she colors. She also likes using the Crayola markers, crayons, colored pencils. She just really likes to use, a variety of different things. But I think her all-time favorite is the Sharpies. I think she likes the nice, bold, and vibrant colors that they give. And, she just finds coloring relaxing. And, you could see, she takes her time. She does a very nice job. And she obviously can put colors together, which her mother cannot do. And that's why these color cubes really do come in handy for me. And, if you're a colorist and you struggle putting colors together, by all means, these color cubes will definitely help you out. So typically what I do is when I want to, pick a card, I have my Google Assistant help me out. And before I tell you the card, these are the items I'll be using today to color my image. I brought in my Prismacolor colored pencils. And again, this is not a tutorial. I'm not going to be doing any blending with them. I'm not going to be using any Gamsol or, any other solvent to work with this. I'm just doing basic coloring because I just want to show you that yes, colorists can use the color cubes for their coloring. So again, like I mentioned earlier, I do use the Google Assistant to help me pick a card to help me work with on my project. And for this week, I will be using card number 86, and you'll see that in just a minute. But here is the image that I got off Sarah Renee Clark's website. And, I got this image on her website, and again, she has a bunch of different images that you can print off. She has some that are free. She has some that are $1. She also has different bundles that you can purchase. So if you're very much into coloring, or maybe you would like to get into coloring, check out her website because she has some really cool things on there for colorists. So again, here is the card that that Google chose for me. It's number 86, and here are the 5 colors. And, they always show you an image of the colors being used. And on the reverse side, they show you the different shades, and then they also gives you the names of the colors that they're using. Now, the name colors may not always go with what you have in your stash, and that's perfectly okay. So I already picked out my 5 colors, and for the white smoke, I didn't have any kind of gray colored pencil, but I did have this silver. So I thought I would go ahead and try that out. For the apricot, that to me looks like a pink color, so I went with the blush pink. And then for my scarlet, I'm going with the carmine red or the carmine red. And for the auburn, I'm going with crimson red. And then for the kale, I'm going with a dark green. So we'll go ahead and, we'll get started on, coloring this image. Now, I'm not going to bore you coloring the entire thing. I thought what I would do is I would show you some coloring using the 5 colors that I chose. And, I am speeding through this. Again, I don't want to bore anybody with the coloring. So, I'm just picking my colors, and I am just doing basic coloring. Now, for you colorists or colorers, however you color, if you blend colors, if you, outline your images and then maybe do like a dark color and then a light color, that's awesome. There is no wrong way, really, of coloring. And for you paper crafters who are watching, I'm sure, a lot of you do coloring with your, paper crafting, especially if you're like card making or maybe scrapbooking. So with card making, there are many of you who, stamp your image and then color it. And that's great. And you can use watercolors. You can use, again, the colored pencils like I'm using with the Gamsol. There's all different kinds, of things out there. Copic markers, Olo markers, whatever suits you and whatever you like. So, and you color the way you know how to color. And whether it's simple coloring like me or blending your colors together. So here, I'm just, working on, different colors. Here I've got that silver, and I actually like how that silver looks with, some of these other colors. And you'll see at the end, how it all looks, once it's finished. So I'm just trying to, use those 5 colors, and I'm trying to, scatter it throughout the page. I'm trying not to put, the same color on the flowers that are, right next to each other. I'm trying to spread that out. And I felt overall that I did a pretty good job of doing that. So, I'm just finishing up, that last flower there on the right. And then here, I've got the majority of that colored, and I'm just finishing up that last flower down there in the bottom right corner. And, for you colorists, now, a lot of people find it therapeutic. They find it relaxing. And I think that's great. I enjoy coloring myself, but I struggle with, blending colors together. So I definitely need practice with that. So what I thought I would do is, now that the coloring is done, and because I'm a paper crafter, I'm going to take this a step forward. I'm going to now turn this pretty colored image into some cards, and I will get 4 cards from this one image. Now for colorists, they may frame what they colored, and I think that's awesome, and then they can display it in their home and show off their artwork. So I bring in my cutting, my cutter, and I'm going to now cut this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I do trim off some of those, the borders that you see there. And so I will have a nice border on my card base. So I finish up, trimming those off. And I'm trying not to get that black, the black border that you see on there. Hopefully I had, gotten it, at least most of it off. So, just finishing trimming all this off, and then, I will move into the assembly process. So there I finished the last card front, and I will, now remove my cutter, and now I'm going to put these cards together. So I'm using this Hugs die from Waffle Flower, and that's going to be my sentiment. And check out what I do with this. I think this is pretty cool. So off screen, I did cut 4 of those out, and I did cut the shadow of it out as well. And I put that on, the shadow of the die will be in like a silvery grayish color cardstock. So instead of coloring or stamping over the hugs, I thought that I would just draw some diagonal lines to using the dark green colored pencil that I used for the leaves in the image. And again, I'm just drawing diagonal lines throughout the word, and I thought that would just be a nice added touch, and again, using one of the colors that's on that color palette. So I pop it out of the negative, and this is what it looks like. So I did do the other 3 off camera, and now I'm going to bring in my foam tape, my foam strips. These are from scrapbook.com. And now I'm going to, I want to pop these up on the shadow, and I'm just going to add some tape to the back of the sentiment. Now you'll see as I get to this letter G, it's that fancy G that they like to make in this type of font. And what I do is I peel the release paper from the tape, and I just maneuver it around the letter. By taking off that release paper, it helps you work that tape, curve it, turn it, in the direction that you need it to. Makes it a lot easier when the release paper is removed. So I do the same thing with the letter S. I'll just, trim off a small piece here, and again, remove that release paper and do the same thing. Just, find a starting point, and then I just, work it around and curve it around that letter, and then I trim off any excess. And again, to save time on the video, I did do the others off screen. And so I will now remove the release paper from the H and the U, and then I will adhere that to that grayish silvery piece of cardstock. I layer that on there, and that is how it looks. So now we're going to assemble the cards. So I'm going to use both my ATG tape, and I'm also going to use my Burley Arts glue. So I'm going to get my card bases, and once I get those out, we're going to start to adhere the card fronts to the card bases. So I'm just layering my tape, getting the tape on there, and I'm kind of working in an assembly line. I want to get the tape on all 4 of the card fronts. So I go ahead and I do that. And I get, those 4 adhered, and then I will just add them to the card bases. So if I have any colorers or colorists, watching this video, let me know in the comments if that is, something you do as a hobby. I'd be very curious, just to know, who really enjoys coloring, even if it's just, coloring books, or even if you do coloring in your paper crafting, if you're a paper crafter. You know, like I said, I enjoy it, and you know, I just struggle with blending the colors, so I definitely need some practice on that. So I'm going to adhere the glue on the back of the hug sentiment, and I'm just going to now place these on the card front. And I do that for, you know, the rest of these cards. And you guys, I really did enjoy, you know, finding an image on Sarah Renee Clark's website and printing it out and, you know, just doing some basic coloring. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, these are the 4 cards, you know, here's how they, well, I'm finishing up gluing my last sentiment. But you'll see at the end, you'll see the 4 cards, you know, finished and, you know, how they turned out. And I'm really happy with the end result. And until my next video, friends, I hope your day is a crafty day, and I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.